I was inspired by many magazines during the making of mine, most notably Kerrang!, which I found, while following conventions, maintained a sense of individuality which made it stand out among other magazines of a similar genre. My music magazine relates to the existing forms of music magazine, using magazine conventions to create the best product possible for the consumer. When considering the title of my magazine, I took into account successful and popular magazines and their names. Their names include NME, Q Magazine, Vibe, Kerrang!, Classic Rock, Mojo, Rolling Stone, and Uncut. What do these names have in common? These names are short and snappy, often reflecting the genre music they represent. For instance, Kerrang! Is an onomatopoeia for the sound of electric guitar during a power chord, giving connotations towards music, especially rock. Similarly, Vibe refers to the R&B genre, as the music is commonly centered on feelings and emotions. Vibe can also be interpreted as the enjoyment of music. I like the idea that my title would be connected to the alternative rock genre. I finally decided on Uprise due to the nature of alternative rock's nonchalant, defiant attitude, and my target audience's tendency to go against the popular trends and be independent. Despite their independent nature, emotionals form a very strong community and like to feel included. For this reason, I chose Uprise, as it implies many people going against the norm and winning. The next thing to deliberate was the font and colour of my title. All the previously mentioned magazine titles chose to use primary colours or the basic black colour for their titles. NME, Q, Vibe, Kerrang! And Uncut use red, a colour which can easily gain people's attention, for example in road signs. I chose to use a bright red colour that linked well with my model's dress, lipstick, and the chosen colour scheme. Font-wise, I used a sans serif font, a decision backed up by the magazines Uncut, Q Magazine, Classic Rock, Rolling Stone, and Kerrang! I noticed Kerrang! Linked the font used with a shattering effect, which I found creative, and it inspired me to use a thick, bold font with gaps in the shapes of barbed wire crossing many of the letters. The front cover image on every magazine I have analysed has been a mid-shot in a photo shoot. This meant I used 3 LED lamps to create artificial lighting and used a main white sheet as a background. The dress I picked matched the colour scheme, and the red was an eye-catching addition. The hat was inspired by the fact many bands from alternative rock culture, including Panic at the Disco with steampunk hats, and My Chemical Romance introducing colourful leather jackets in earlier albums, marching band clothing also, have a signature look through different stages of their music career. I wanted to express my artist's personality through the top hat. Many front cover musicians use elaborate poses to gain attention, so I used a signature framing of the hands with the camera on a slight low angle tilt. I used the tilt to have the model looking up at the reader and peeking through their hands. While the tilt angle wasn't a convention, it was used to help my magazine stand out as opposed to the overused level camera shot. On the other hand, I stuck to the magazine convention of having the model look at the potential buyer to engage with them. The one change I would have made, if given the option, is that the sheet in the background, I would change it to a neutral colour wall because it was difficult to cut around the figure due to the creases. The images on the contents page were also planned as a photo shoot, but had the element of a prop guitar as the convention of instruments was established in many other magazines. The poses I used were extravagant, and the gun to the head was meant to provoke a response from the reader. Women magazines are often sexualized, so I chose a crop top and skinny jeans for the model to wear, exposing the midriff. Lastly, to accompany the interview exclusive, I used a long shot picture of the front page model in dark colours typical of the genre, and linking back to the front cover image by a similar pattern adorning the jeans to the dress on the front page. In the first double page of the article, I used a close-up of the face in a natural setting, and the second page used a mid-shot with the autumn leaves on the ground partially covering the model. In magazine photography, in the double page spreads, the conventions were less strict, and you can choose the setting and lighting. However, the shots must be framed using the rule of thirds. Both models applied pale makeup with exaggerated eyeliner and mascara to exaggerate the eyes, which stereotypically emos wear. The fonts used on the title pages of magazines are bold, capital lettering, and for this reason I used Impact, which is a sans serif font. To help with the main article to stand out, I used a different font, which looks like stamp marks. On the inside, I continue with an Impact font for the subtitles, and for the summaries of the articles I used a smaller, different font in lowercase, which is characteristic of many magazines, also transferred to the double page spread with the Impact font and a new one for the name of the musician, making it stand out. The background on the front covers is usually white, with very few exceptions. The mode of address used in most magazines is informal, for example, booze and knobheads, and I used the text speak and rhetorical questions to engage my target audience. The use of swearing in the magazine is likely to provoke a response from the reader. Other language devices I used were alliteration, quotes from musicians, and expressive, bold, powerful words, such as insane, which implies disorder or an unsound mind. The front page layout is ordered, following the conventions of editorials down the sides of the page, with the magazine title at the top, over or under the picture, and the featured cover article across the centre, in larger text than other articles. The layout I chose is simplistic and features 7 articles in total, including the banner article, with many other magazines used as a way to advertise. My contents page is comprised of 3 columns, a commonplace feature in most magazines. The number of images used in contents pages vary widely from magazine to magazine. While Classic Rock magazine only uses 1 large image, Q magazine has a collection. I chose to use 4 pictures, promoting the cover story and the 10-page special advertised on the banner. Most magazines will have sections that each article fits into. Keeping to this rule, I have created 5 sections clearly marked out in red. The contents page must also link strongly to the title page, and to accommodate to this, I use the same colour scheme of red, white, grey, black and yellow, as well as carrying the Impact font from the previous page, the logo and some of the design elements. This formed a house style. One of my favourite foundations of my contents page is the way I highlighted 2 sections in grey, making them pop, and the page making the whole page feel more loaded. By highlighting and enlarging certain words, I was able to make them more noticeable. For example, reunite is highlighted white and enlarged, leading the reader to wonder which band reunited and read on. It was also an excellent way to make the article titles more interesting and less plain. This technique is used on the title page and in competitor magazines, as well as highlighting the page numbers in a different colour. To make my magazine unique and consistent, I have used design elements throughout every page. On the front page, the plus sign, dotted lines, arrow, and the boxes encasing the text are all used as page furniture, and the dotted lines and boxed words are transferred to the contents page, along with the design elements of a play button at the bottom. 2 design elements link back to the alternate rock genre. The formed cross symbol is like a tattoo, and the barbed wire running across the top directly links to the title of the magazine. The 2 double-page spread pages use boxes again, as well as the dotted line and arrow, and on every page in the magazine the logo is placed at some part of each, and the accessories used were picked out because they complemented the emo scene. On the 2 double-page articles, while the first has only one translucent text box for the quotes, the second page has the same, but also a dotted line arrow, as well as a strip across the bottom. The first double-page spread was an introduction to the musician, and the second had the article. This technique is used a lot in competitor magazines. The second page is evenly spaced and leaves many gaps to make the format readable. Rock genre is generally unorganized, and to represent this, the tilted title sections in the contents page reflected the lack of order. The barbed wire and cross with thorns are page furniture which relate to the rock genre, and the model's clothing, pale makeup with exaggerated dark eyes, and accessories were used because they related so closely to the rock genre. I believe it relates to the rock genre well, and I was strongly influenced by Kerrang! Magazine's style, also which covers alternative rock bands among other rock genres. I believe through my extensive research I have managed to embody a magazine which has a unique style to set it apart from other magazines, and at the same time uses magazine conventions to their fullest to give the magazine a professional finish.